little bit of darkness is what a wizard needs in this world. Oh, it is good to be here. Um, I'm on my scarlet throne here, bringing you tales of wizardry. Oh, I got to turn that off here. It is good to see you. I have been traveling around looking for a companion, looking for conversation. Perhaps you are the person, perhaps you are the one to have this conversation with me. Yeah, there we go. I have all of my music ready in the background. Uh, I am here to tell you tales, and I want to speak to you about whatever you want to talk about. I am just an old wizard, trying to make my way in the world here. Making my way. Good evening to you, madam. Good evening to you. I'm going to be telling the tale of Abdel Adrian today. I'm going to be speaking of the ball spawn crisis, a horrible experience that we've had here in Torel. It was quite a while back, probably about 300 years ago. I'm going to be sharing his journey from being just a ward of Gorion and making his way into the world, becoming one of the very dukes of Baldur's Gate. I don't know if you've been to Baldur's Gate. It is a wonderful city. But there's always types of, the cities teem with evil and decay. And it is always good to give them a good shake to see what falls out. Greetings, Madam Marilyn. Good to see you. Hello, humans and non-humans alike. Yes. And Sir Flame Drop, are you a knight? Perhaps you are a knight of some sorts. I see the name Sir there in your name, so I'm assuming you're some type of person of chivalry, maybe a paladin or something of that nature. I don't know, but I want to tell you the tale. I've come on to tell you the tale of this wonderful, wonderful person, Abdel Adrian. You are in a nugget. Yes, you are. I bet you are. Whatever you are, right? Yeah, it is good to be with you. It is good to see you. Now, hear me, friends, and I want you to listen close, because I want to tell you of a tale written in blood, prophecy, of course, and the footsteps of a man that came to become a great hero of the realms. Long before there were dukes who wore crowns of authority, before the flaming fist marched under his command, before the name Abdel Adrian echoed through Baldur's Gate like a war drum, there was only a little lad, living in Candlekeep. Oh, this was so long ago. It's such a wonderful tale. He was found swaddled in silence, left at the gates by hands unknown, which obviously he will come to know later on in his journey. Gorion the Sage, was once a good friend of mine. He is with the gods somewhere now. I don't know where he is. He raised this young lad, Abdel Adrian, with gentle wisdom, never speaking of shadow that clung to the child's soul. That's going to be an important theme. Greetings to you, Lord Jesus Pharaoh, as your name states. Good to have you here. Now, for in the days back then, several hundred years ago, in those days, the gods themselves had walked upon the earth. Well, we call it Torel, where I am from. You call it Earth. This was during what was called the time of troubles, had shaken the heavens, and the Lord of Murder, Baal, as he was called, foresaw his own death. So he planted seeds, children as vessels, living tombstones of divine essence is basically what you will find these children to be. They were just vessels, really. He was not interested in, being a father or mother or whatever. He just wanted to have his offspring in order to return. Oh, that is the old purpose, All the gods. Hey, I gotta say, my hey, gremlins! I am talking tales here to people in realm. Please be quiet. Yeah, I have a bunch of gremlins running around that I have to, tend to every now and then. Well, this was a time of troubles because all of the gods, they were cast out because they tried to steal a very, very important article called the Tablets of Fate. These were the very tablets that formed the whole place of Torel as we know it. They were very important, powerful artifacts, if you would, that held everything together. They held everything together. Now I see all these people here. If you enjoy tales, go give that thing a touch there. That is the power button, right? That brings all kinds of magic. This thing here brings the magic into the realm just by a little touch. That's all it needs from you is a little touch. Abdel Adrian, as I was saying, he was one of these so-called children of Baal, this god who was, he had died. When the gods took on mortal form, then they took on their mortal shell, they were able to be killed. And some of them, quite greedy for power, went around murdering other gods. I mean, it was quite a nuisance, is what it was. All these gods dying, all of their portfolios, not to mention the goddess Joaquin. Oh man, she had a terrible time. She tried to scam her way back up the celestial stair, but she was cast out by the Helm. Helm was the only deity that was allowed to guard the realm. He was up there, with his, he is known as the all-seeing, the ever-vigilant one. He's always looking down upon the world of Torel. So the great overlord of all the gods, Ao, he had commissioned Helm to keep the gods out. You must stay out, stay down there. You're all being punished. And so he did, doing what he was doing. So all the gods, they are running loose, running wild, making children and stuff like that, procreating with human beings and elves and dwarves. I mean, it was like one big celestial orgy going on down here. But in this celestial orgy, you have all of the Baal spawn, the children of Baal. Now, Baal, if you did not know, he is called the Lord of Murder. People that are his clergy, they like to murder people. I don't know why you want a god that is the Lord of Murder, but there are gods for everything here in Torel. I don't understand. Do you want a god of murder? I mean, what's next? Are you going to make a god of erectile dysfunction? I don't know. They have gods for everything, but I just don't understand. What are the benefits of having a Lord of Murder? I mean, how are you? You just kill things, and one day you're going to get killed too. But I don't understand these guys. There's a Lord of Murder, there's a Lord of Lying, a Lord of this and a Lord of that. We have all of these damn lords here. Most of them are good for nothing. I'm sure you understand in your world, wherever you are, you have lords that are good for nothing. They are nothing but a nuisance, some of these deities. Now, I have a particular devotion to Mistra. She is a wonderful deity. I've never had, never really any problems with her. And she happened to have died in the Baal spawn process as well during the time of troubles. Most unfortunate. Caused a really big thing for magic. Magic just kind of shriveled up for a while. But she was able to return at some point. She's always dying and coming back, Mistra. But see, you're getting me all mixed up here. I want to tell you about Abdel Adrian, and you are taking me to the other side of Pharaoh here. We're going on the far eastern side where there's not a lot of tales over there, kind of old stuff going on. But all right, Abdiel Adrian, I will stay on the subject. I will stay on point here. Abdiel Adrian, he begins his life in Candlekeep as a ward of Gorion. Gorion was like, his foster father in many ways, trying to help him to have a good life, to stay away from. Now, Gorion knew the secret. Gorion knew of his taint. Gorion knew where he came from. Abdiel did not. He was just a good old boy, never meaning no harm, been in trouble with the law since the day he was born. Now, the tale begins, really, on a moonless night when Gorion bursts into Abdiel's chambers with fear in his voice. Pack quickly. We must leave now. So just imagine that. He's like, get your belongings. We must go. Go buy, what you need. He gave him a few gold coins, and he went around to the wonderful Candlekeep Inn, which is cleaner than an elven ass, basically. And he goes in there, he buys provisions. There's no explanation. There's no time for questions, only urgency, only urgency. So they begin to flee up the Lion's Way, but death followed them. A towering armored figure by the name of Servak, a ballspan like Abdiel. They were brothers. Brothers are always fighting, They're always fighting. But, good evening to you, madam. But one who embraced, this was his brother. And what Servak was doing, he was going around murdering all the other sons of Baal, daughters of Baal, in order to absorb their Baal taint, their Baal energy. So he comes to Gorion, he demands the boy, give me the child. And Gorion, of course, he's a good-natured individual. Gorion would be proud of your actions. He would always say that, but always echoing in his head. Now, Gorion, of course, he refused. He refused to give up the lad to his evil ball-spawn brother, Servak. And steel clashed, magic roared, and Abdiel watched his foster father fall beneath a killing blow meant for him. It was quite tragic, Gorion was this powerful individual, a wonderful clergyman of Ogama, the great god of wisdom and knowledge. There that, many of the Candlekeep, the custodians of the books, as they're sometimes called, they all have a devotion to Ogama. They are the preservers of knowledge, as they are often referred to as. Gorion was quite powerful, but he was not skilled in combat with weapons and things. He could certainly heal. He could inspire, do a few, magic missiles or something. But when it came to the good old sword, he was no match. And Servak was heavily armored. He was, all of this armor, all of this power, and all of his magical swords and things. There really was no match for poor Gorion. He was laid waste by the killing blow of Servak. Went down, and that was it. Yeah. Sometimes brain does not defeat bronze. Yeah. Sometimes the bronze is much, much more powerful, much more strategic. And Gorion, he told Abdiel to flee. And from that moment, Abdiel's life became a blade drawn from his sheath. Now, a hero is never forged alone. In his journeys in the wilds and, trying to make his way in life, Abdiel met first of those who would shape his destiny. Emoen, a childhood friend, very quick with a lockpick and quicker with a joke. She was, known to have one of the most, I guess you could say, not good, not bad, kind of in between thieves guilds. They were into the thievery and stuff, and that came later on in her life. She was just a young lady at this time, trying to make her way. She didn't know that she was a bull spawn too. No one knew about these bull spawn. Everything came unfolded later on. So Emowyn, his childhood friend, quick with lockpicks and even quicker with jokes. She had quite the wit about her. Not really if you're cunning enough. Yes, that is certainly true. It depends on how the die roll, really. Sometimes you roll a natural one and it's all over. All your cunning is gone. When the dice gods don't favor you, what are you going to do, really, right? Now, Jahira and Kylie, they were harpers, good friends. Brian was a harper as well. The harpers are a wonderful organization in the realms that are really into this idea of justice, of a true and proper balance. The harpers are they are an organization that are founded on the foundations of civilization. Taking their most of their understanding is based on the great city of Mithranor, the shining city, the city of song. It was once an ancient city, but that's another story. I want to talk about Abdel here and his journeys. Now, one of the most important people that Abdel met on his adventure was a ranger named Minsk. He was a Rashomon. He was from Rashomon, a Kalashman. He was Rashomon is way. They have like witch queens and witch. It's run by a bunch of ladies that are quite powerful in the magic department, and these Rashomon, they take these journeys, pilgrimages in their life with their witches, and trying to make a name for themselves. All of these gentlemen, they would live in these lodges together, and his particular lodge commissioned him to go forth. And in his journeys, he met quite an interesting individual, a miniature giant space hamster by the name of Boo. And they became quite well acquainted with one another, powerful comrades in arms. This miniature. So if you don't know about miniature giant space hamsters, they are really a thing of magic. We have something called the astral sea, where you might call it space. And in this place, we have all of these like spaceships flying around. We call them spell jammers here. And sometimes in the confines of the astral sea, you will encounter giant space hamsters. So it is a very rare thing to encounter a miniature giant space hamster. Bronze always wins against brains. Yes, it's pretty heavy. Brute force, surprisingly effective. It's appropriate, applied, I agree, in the art of war. But it really goes down to the dice. The dice determine who always is the true winner at the end of the day. Now, Minsk and Boo, they get together, right? And they are good comrades of Abdel Adrian. And he also, the traveling companion of Minsk, was a witch named Diania. He guarded her with unbreakable devotion. And together they crossed the coastway, unraveling a conspiracy of what was called the iron shortage crisis, bandit raids and political sabotage. This was all started by Saravik. He created a so-called iron shortage. What he did was he poisoned the iron with some type of magical elixir or something. It was all a big scam, really. Now, every clue, they went back and forth. Every clue pointed to this place, as I mentioned, called Baldur's Gate. Let me tell you about Baldur's Gate. Its founder, he was a great traveler. He went all around Torel to various places, acquiring various treasures. That is what the city say. He really was a pirate. That's what he was. He built Baldur's Gate from all of his. Some say there are secret treasures lay deep below the city of Baldur's Gate. Now, that would be an interesting adventure, would it not? Finding the lost treasures of the great explorer and seafarer, Boulder. Bolderan. Actually, his name is Bolderan. Now, every shadow whispered this name. Go to Baldur's Gate. Go to Baldur's Gate. Seravak was all into everything. He was causing all kinds of problems up and down the Sword Coast. You would find that name, Seravak. Seravak. Now, Baldur's Gate, it's the jewel of the Sword Coast. Now, I have more of a preference for Waterdeep, because that is where I am from. That is more of a place for me. But Baldur's Gate is quite well known because it's really situated right in the middle of the Sword Coast, and where gold speaks, louder is the truth, as they say. Now, Abdel and his companions uncovered a plot to plunge the region in war. Seravak sought chaos, bloodshed, and slaughter for every death fed the divine spark in him. Well, you're serving the Lord of Murder, right? You have his essence within you. Baal is killed. He put all of his essence in his children, in hoping to reconstitute himself one day. So what Seravak is doing is going around murdering everyone, increasing his power, increasing that Baal spawn taint within himself. The city is inscribed. You have been to Baldur's Gate. You are a native there. It is quite a lovely place. Now, he meant to ascend, to become the new Lord of Murder. Was his goal. He thought he could pull it off, really. He was doing quite well until Abdel came along, really. His brother Abdel is really what caused him all the problems. It's no fun when you're trying to be an evil dictator and you lose out to your puny little brother. Well, that's what happened. Abdel stood in his way in what is called the Undercellar, which is deep below Baldur's Gate, in the Iron Throne. Its very halls. The Flaming Fist were running around. They were corrupt too. They were being led by Seravak. They were all being paid off. With the right coin, you can buy, simple minds, simple people. Everyone caves into greed now. And then, with the right persuasion check, you can get people to do whatever you want them to do. And that's what we see with this a problem here with Seravak. Abdel fought assassins. He fought spies and traitors. And at last, in the Temple of Baal, beneath the city, he faced Seravak in a duel that shook the stones of the very foundation of the city of Baldur's Gate. And steel rang, blood spilled, and good old Abdel struck down his brother. The city hailed him a hero. But the blood of Baal stirred, and destiny was not done with him. The city is extravagant. You went to the city once. Potion prices are exuberant due to certain ingredients in the trade restriction. It's probably that the Kalashmine spice, they throw a little bit in there to cause the increase of the prices. That's really that's how you have to know how to deal with these potion makers. They always want to put in that extra ingredient. If you can get the pure stuff, it doesn't really cost that much. It's always the Kalashmine spice. That is what the ingredient that they put in there to really hustle you. So there is your foreknowledge. Next time you make your way to the potion markets at Baldur's Gate, ask for the ingredients, and then you will expose their dirty dealings. Now, see, you have someone here of culture who knows what is going on. I want you to have all of your gold pieces. It is unfair for you to be robbed of your gold pieces. It is unfortunate that there are people that would rob good citizens like yourself. and take away this responsibility that they are supposed to be showing towards you. It is quite unfortunate. Maybe you just don't know how to deal with them. You're not good at haggling. Well, perhaps a few points in charisma might do you some good, in dealing with these people. Why do I keep flashing out here? It's like I have the blink spell going on here. Why am I blinking? Is there a reason why I am blinking here? I'm trying to sit here on my wonderful purple chair here, and all types of blinking is going on. All kinds of lights are being seen here. What is going on with that? Maybe I have some. Why is that light coming in like that from the end of the cavern here? Let me try to see if I could fix my cavern lights here. Where are you coming from, light? Oh, you're coming from up above. Oh, I can't do anything about that. There's nothing to be done about that. That light it's going down soon, so we don't have to worry about it. Oh my. You're just honest, yes. Maybe you're getting split again, perhaps. Oh my. Now there's look at that interesting symbol next to you. It looks like a shield. Isn't that something? There's such power here. You got the shield spell next to you. Nice to see you, Frondale. And the government, 1, 2, 3. Am I high? Well, that depends on the weave, yes. The intensity of the magic. It flows through me. The essence and power of Mistra coming through my very veins, my friend. There is no better way to be high than on the power of magic. There's so many substitutions, As I said, Kalishman is a place of sometimes scandal. We do have people who get addicted to certain types of spices and herbs and things. Yeah, and it's quite a tragedy when that happens, because there's plenty of ways to heal it. But for whatever reasons, they don't seek help. It is quite unfortunate. Why am I flashing? Why is this power doing this? I don't understand. Why I'm always flashing in and out here. What is Mistra? What are you doing to me? What magic is this? I'm trying to tell a story here about Abdel Adrian, and I keep flashing into being. Let's see here. Now, going back, let's talk about, no, peace never lasts for the children of the gods. Abdel was captured by what is called the cowled wizards. Now, over there in they are very peculiar about magical practice. They don't like it. You have to it's sanctioned. You have to pay a certain amount of money to the government. The Armenians, the Amish, or the Ammonites, or whatever they want to call them. I've heard of everything. The city-state of is quite wealthy, and most of its wealth is by scamming its own citizens through taxes that are just unneeded, like the tax on magic use. I think is quite tragic. I'm sure you have dealt in your realm with the taxes. It is such a terrible thing that this city of this city-state, does to its citizens. I think the citizens, if you are from I think you should revolt. I think you should stand up against your most unfortunate rulers there. There's no regulation on tax in the realms yet. It is the only way to regulate it is by a good sword. That is it. A good vorpal slice into the helms of these horrible leaders. But anyways, now Abdel, he was captured by what is called the cowled wizards, dragged in chains to the dungeons of Arenicus, a mage whose cruelty was matched only by his brilliance. I paid for my good thing you learned of the art of alchemy. That can come in handy. Very few kingdoms have restrictions on the taxation that they do. They are often corrupt in those ways. Yes, this corruption is such a universal thing. We should stand up and demand justice. Oh my, where's Minsk when you need him? He was such a person of justice. I know that now he is running around the realm somewhere with his miniature giant space hamster. Now, all right, so his companions, Abdel's companions, they were scattered about who knows where they were, right? His soul was torn from him, this poor Abdel. The spark of Baal within him flickered like a dying ember. You have this mage Aranicus. He is just, he's such a tormented soul, this Aranicus individual. Yeah, he was once of the high elven folk, very close to the queen. They were lovers. It was a love story gone bad. He was all about power, and his quest for power, it corrupted his love for the elven queen. And he just kept going deeper and deeper in greed, and this greed corrupted him from the inside out. I mean, he became disfigured in his form and his presentation. He did not look like an elf anymore. He looked like some type of mutated humanoid in many, all kinds of problems, all kinds of pain. But Abdel, he did not break. He escaped the mage's lair. He rallied his friends together and pursued Aranicus across the length of Am, through the slums of Athlaka, through the forests of Trademeat, through the vampire-haunted streets of the Graveyard District. Abdel carved a path of defiance. He reclaimed his soul from the hellish depths of he went down, which it was not. Some say it was the hells, but it was more like the abyss. Some are scared. Some say these were somewhere in Avernus is where there was some type of pocket plane of Baal. It was somewhere between the abyss and somewhere between the hells. Now, maybe in your realm you only have one hell. We have 9 here. Yeah, it's much worse. We have 9 hells. I hear that you only have 1 where you are. 1 is no fun. When you have 9 hells, you have more to work with there in terms of going upstairs or downstairs. Now, Abdel was able to slay Aranicus in a battle of fire and fury in the depths of this dark dimension, somewhere between the hell and the abyss. But in every victory, the divine blood within him grew and grew louder. Now, one by one, hunted, slain, consumed, a great war erupted across Tethia and Am. Yeah, that's like south, if you go south. Armies marching under banners of prophecy. At the center stood this wonderful cleric of Baal. Her name was Meliazan. She was a priestess who protected the Baal spawn, but secretly sought to gather their divine essence for herself. She was supposed to bring back Baal. That was the whole plan. But she's like, well, maybe I'll just keep all that power for myself. That happened. Could you blame them? If I gave you the power of a deity, you would say, would you give it back? Probably not. So you can't blame this fair maiden for being corrupted by such power that most people couldn't resist. Now, Abdel faced Yagashura, this great fire giant. He faced Sendai, a drow matriarch, Abisgel, a dragon spawn, and Belazazar, the monk who sought redemption through death. Each battle tested not only strength, but his humanity. And every time he slew one of his brothers, one of these other Baal spawn, he absorbed their power into himself. So he continued to grow more and more powerful with all of this Baal spawn energy. Now, at last, Abdel reached what was called the throne of Baal. This was supposed to be the place where all of the Baal essence collected and was going to return the Lord of Murder back the plane of the God. The Bhaal, Bhaal, Baal. That is the name of the deity. Baal was the lord of murder. At this time, he was slain, and he knew he was going to be slain. So what he did? He went around and had a bunch of children with lots of his priestesses to give his essence to them, so he could be brought back to life. It was quite ingenious, his plan. Baal, that is it. The Baal essence is known as musk. Oh my goodness. That's not the type of balls that I'm talking about here. I'm talking about a deity. Now, you might think your private part is some type of deity and has magical essences in it, but that's not what I'm discussing here. Now, Abdel reaches the throne of Baal, a place where the divine spark within him roared like a storm. There he learned the truth, that he was the last, the strongest, the final vessel of the Lord of murder. And Baal's essence demanded rebirth. Meliasian, this priestess lady, she tried to seize the power, as I said she was always going to do. Abdel struck her down. The throne pulsated with divine fire. The essence of Baal swirled around him and begged to be claimed by him. He could ascend. He could become the new lord of murder if he chose to at that time. But Abdel Adrian, the boy raised by Gurion, the man who fought for the innocent, the hero who defied prophecy, refused. He cast the power aside. Now, I wouldn't have done that. I would have took the power. But he chose mortality. Now, that's no fun. I don't know why he did that. He chose his humanity. And in doing so, he saved the realm from a new age of divine slaughter. By the essence of a god, it cannot be destroyed. It only sleeps. And in the shadows of the fugue plane, that's where we go when we die, some of us. Baal stirred. He stirred and is stirred. Abdel returned home to Baldur's Gate, a changed man. The people of Baldur's Gate hailed him as a savior. The Flaming Fist honored him as a commander. And the Council of Four elevated him to Duke Abdel Adrian, protector of the gate. What a wonderful title. Now, he served with humility. He served with strength and with the wisdom that Gurion, his foster father, had installed in him. But whispered follows him always whispers, always following him. I'm going to try to, let me finish the story. I'm going to try to change the green screen. The blood of Baal, the spark of divinity, the shadow of prophecy, for gods do not die easily, and murder never sleeps. In the years that followed, assassins gathered in secret temples, and the essence of Abdel had rejected, began to coalesce elsewhere. A ritual, a vessel, a rebirth. Baal returned not through Abdel, but through the remnants scattered essence woven by fanatics. Eventually, Abdel was struck down by an assassin. He was struck down. There was murder in Baldur's Gate. And he fell. And the god Baal was reborn. I mean, it's a terrible, it's tragic, isn't it? It is a tragic tale of fate, really. He did all of this wondrous things in the realm. And what happens to him? He gets murdered in the end, right? He gets murdered in the end here. And that's even worse here. Look at that devil right there. Let me try to see if my lighting will change the situation here. Oh, this is terrible. Let me see. Does the light bring the... No, the light didn't do much, did it? The light didn't do much. Oh, let's see. This is unfortunate here. I'm about to say screw it and turn this off. Let me try the doorway. Does the doorway work? The doorway is not even any better either. This is quite unfortunate. Let me see. What do you think? Should I get rid of it altogether? Is that better? What do you think? Do you think it is more appropriate without it? Um, what kind of power was it? Uh, the blood, the Assassin Creed got him. Yeah, shifting in and out of reality. Yeah, it's quite an unfortunate tale. The tale of Abdel Adrian, but he is. You don't mind the green skin if I'm used to seeing it. You like it better this way, naturally. Yeah, it's a real tragic tale. His comrades, they went on to do great things. Yeah, Khalid Jahira's husband had died, unfortunately, in the crisis, and she was known to have the thing with Abdel, and there's rumors of them having children together. Who knows? Now, of course, Emowyn, she had her own thieves' guild, which was very popular. Tales of her robbing many, many wonderful places of power, things that are quite a nuisance. That's the type of stuff she would, and she was no person who gave to the poor. She gave to herself, but she did so with integrity. I mean, she would not like go to your home if you are impoverished and take your things. She was a wonderful type of rogue in that regard. Now, Minsk and Boo, they went on to various adventures, and unfortunately, they got petrified by a basilisk. It was terrible. And someone found their statue, and they did not know it was a statue, that it was a real petrification. Because if they would have known, they could have just used a remove petrification spell, really. And tales of thievery, but not without philanthropy, yes. Yeah, the anti-petrification spell would have been really easy to cast. So what happens? Someone finds the statue of Minsk and Boo. They bring it to Baldur's Gate, and it sits in the city for quite a long time, maybe a good 100 years or so. It just stays in the middle of the city. No one ever took to think it was a real person and a real hamster in there in the middle of the city. No one could come to that conclusion. But one strange evening, the weather was in it's all lightning bolts and all that kind of stuff. Quite magical. Some wizard was messing around with weather magic. And here comes a lightning bolt out of the sky at the statue of Minsk and Boo. And what happens to them? They return to their normal state. So, like, what are we doing here? It's they were able to discover it's like 100 years later. And so, what does Minsk do? He goes around. He gathers a group together, and he starts his own mercenary organization, which is called the Justice Fist. Their mercenary work is in the positive. They don't go around bullying people or anything. They want to help people, like caravans and things, helping you find a lost dog or a puppy or whatever. That's the type of mercenary work that they were into. And so to this very day, they are traveling around, adventuring. Maybe you'll see them somewhere. I heard they're in the kingdom of Cormier right now, in some place, maybe in the good old capital there of Suzel. But last I heard of them, they were in Erebel. If you don't know, that's like the northern part of the kingdom of Cormier. Beautiful city, Erebel. I heard they were on the way. Where were they? Heading back towards the Western Heartlands. At some point, I don't know where they are on that journey. Maybe they are in Evening Star right now. Evening Star, they have the best mead. If you've ever been to Evening Star, they have the best mead in the realm. The good version of the PMC, you think? Yeah. So Minsk and Boo are doing that thing. Now, Jahira, who knows where she is? Some say she's in Baldur's Gate right now. Now, they had quite a bit of a mess there recently. If you did not know this, there was a mind flayer hive mind trying to take over the city. It was quite the story. The mind flayers, the illithids, you don't want to mess with them. Uh, if they don't suck out your brains, what they will do is impregnate you with one of their little creatures that they put in your bodies. That it's a tadpole. It goes into your head, and it gives you powers. You're like, oh, great, I got some powers here. I have a tadpole in my head. And all of a sudden, now you become one of the creatures. You lose your humanity with this tadpole thing that was in it. So that was something of recent there. They had the city is mostly being rebuilt right now because there was a great battle. There was some heroes that rose up and did battle with this hive mind. And the hive mind, so the psychic energy, the psychic power is quite something. I look poor and homeless. I am. I'm just a wizard making my way in the world. I do take donations. Yes. We'll work for magic. Yeah, that is me. Yes, he did. I hope you enjoyed that tale of Abdel Adrian. I really enjoyed sharing that with you. And there's more tales to come. I have all kinds of stories that I could tell you. It is nice to see some of these people that are familiar faces. ELP. You sound like a person of power. What type of powers do you have, sir? By the look of your name, are you a master of the dice, sir? Do you know how to roll them? Do you load your dice? That's another thing. I've often been accused of loading my dice when I've led adventurers to various places. They don't like the dice. They say, you have loaded the dice. It is not my fault that the universe doesn't like you when you're not rolling properly. I am just the guiding force in the tales that I tell. Nothing more out of that. That's all I want to do is help you on that journey, guide you on that journey to wherever you're going. But yes, I do tell tales. I'm going to be doing this. Probably I will be on here maybe once a week or so, something like that, telling you tales from the Forgotten Realms. That is where I hail from. And that is where I received all of my knowledge and wisdom and experiences, in my journeys. And so you have heard the tale of Abdel Adrian today. And learn from that. If you are someone who has got the taint of a dark god, maybe next time keep the essence, and maybe you will live longer. Abdel Adrian, the moral of the story is he did not accept godhood. That was a bad choice. If he would have done that, he would still be around. But unfortunately, he was slain by an assassin. Yeah. You would call yourself a bard like yourself, however, not is quite as wise. You have not been around. Where do you play, or you are a bard of the theater? What type of bard are you? There's many bards here in the realms. Are you familiar with the troubadours of the Sword Coast? There's a gentleman that by the name of Garrick is quite associated with him. Quite a wonderful chap. The taint essence, yeah. Well, everything's tainted, really. If you were going to be offered a divine essence, would you complain if it was tainted? I'd be like, give me the essence. I don't care if it's tainted. Aren't you? Let's see here. Are you sure it's got your name on it? What do you mean? It is called musk. I don't know if we are talking about the same type of essence here. He was referring to his private parts as some type, like that is his magic wand or something, or magical sword. I don't know what he wants to call it. But I am talking about serious matters here, serious matters of the realm that needed to be discussed with you. I'm not talking about the magic of your private parts here. Is that Sir Garrick the wisest bard? I think Sir Garrick is one of the wisest. Yes, he is someone of great importance, I believe. You are making light of your username, its applicable uses back to the realm. Oh, you are serious now. Look at you. You were. I thought you were talking about the power of your magic in your pants. But I'm just an old man. I can be easily confused. Um, Sometimes I misinterpret what you say, and I can certainly get that wrong. I've been known to, play a few jokes here and there. Um, Musk magic. Is that what we're calling this now? He's got magic in his pants. And here he is on the adventure. I'm sure that many of the adventuring guilds look forward to you, the members traveling with you and your magic underdrawers, doing all kinds of wonderful deeds in the land, helping the community with your private parts, going around slaying dragons, sending creatures back to the abyss. I can only see you now, traveling the realm. You heard Sir Gaelic waited 40 minutes in the potion shop. He truly has the patience of a saint. Yeah, it was quite the tragedy. Yeah, some people are quite unprepared in the way that they present their, world of experience. And what is poor Sir Gaelic going to do? Is he going to suffer because someone is not, presenting the adventure properly? Of course not. He will make it fun for himself. And this is the way of Sir Gaelic. Uh, he's a wonderful bard, a bard of valor. He's got a nice, shiny coat of armor that none could really best. Sir Gaelic once romanced a dragon, it is true. He is known to be a lover of many species. Uh, he is a bard. They are very open to other species and things in terms of intimacy. It was quite a wait. He didn't have to the musk magic. Maybe that's what he needed. Maybe that orc that was with him needed a little bit of musk magic of Sir Garrick there. All right. Well, look at this. We have come to the end of the adventure. You learned a little bit about Abdel Adrian today, a very important person in history of the Forgotten Realms. And I hope you have learned your lessons from his bad choices. All right. We will see you again